When my grandmother died, my parents decided to clean out her house before selling it. It stood alone at the end of a dirt road, surrounded by dead apple trees that hadn't borne fruit in years. The whole place smelled like dust, dried herbs, and old wood. My father sorted through the furniture downstairs. My mother stayed in the living room with my 6-month-old brother. I wandered through the attic. Grandma never let anyone up there. Whenever I asked why, she'd smile and say, "Some things stay hungry longer than people." I never understood what she meant. The attic was packed with old trunks and cardboard boxes. Most of it was junk. Broken toys. Cracked dishes. Worn out clothes. Near the back wall I found a family photo album wrapped in faded cloth. The first photograph shows my grandmother as a little girl. She couldn't have been older than 9. She stood beside a tiny cemetery. Behind her were several small wooden crosses. Too many. Each one carried the name of a child. I counted them twice. Then I remembered something she'd told me years before. She'd grown up during terrible poverty. There had been many brothers and sisters. Only she and her oldest brother survived. The others never got the chance to grow up. That was all she ever said. I closed the album for a moment. It was sad. Nothing more. Just another family tragedy from another century. When I opened it again, the photographs changed. Sleeping babies. Wrapped in blankets. Every one of them smiling. The kind of smile babies make when adults say they're dreaming about angels. There were dozens of photographs. Different children. Different years. Always asleep. Always smiling. I smiled without thinking. Grandma used to say, "Never wake a smiling baby. Someone kind is visiting." A small notebook slipped from between the pages. Its cover was cracked and stained. Childish handwriting covered the front. "When bread is gone." Inside were recipes, shopping lists, Bible verses, small household notes. Then, halfway through the notebook, a song. Not a poem, not a prayer, a song. The handwriting changed halfway through, as though several generations had copied it over the years. The words were simple, almost playful, like something children could remember after hearing only once. The first verse read, "When bread is gone and ovens sleep. Little crows have licked the bowl. Butter wakes where mornings keep. Come and eat until you're whole." I laughed. What kind of lullaby is this? Sleep wasn't described like something you did. It sounded like a place. I snapped a picture with my phone and went downstairs. My little brother refused to sleep that evening. Mom had been trying to rock him for almost an hour. Dad looked exhausted. I walked into the room holding the notebook. "You have to hear this." Mom looked up. "What is it?" "I think Grandma used to sing this." Dad smiled. "Let's hear it." I began reading. The rhythm was strangely catchy, almost cheerful. Dad chuckled. Mom smiled for the first few lines. Then her expression changed. She looked uncomfortable. I reached the second verse. She suddenly interrupted me. "Okay." I looked up. "What? That's enough." I laughed. "I haven't even finished." "I know." She rubbed her arms. I don't know why. She forced a smile. "But I really don't like it." Dad shrugged. "It is a little creepy." I closed the notebook. "Fine." The room became quiet. For several seconds, nothing happened. Then my brother slowly opened his eyes. Not because someone touched him. Not because anyone spoke. He simply opened them. Very slowly. He stared upward. Past the ceiling. As though someone had just entered the room. I looked up too. There was nothing there. When I looked back, he was smiling. Not the random smile babies sometimes make. This one looked recognizing. Like he'd finally found someone he'd been waiting for. Then he laughed. Softly. Joyfully. His eyes followed something moving across the ceiling. Something none of us could see. Dad smiled. "Looks like somebody likes your song." My brother lifted both tiny arms, reaching upward, waiting, like a child asking to be picked up. My mother frowned. "There isn't anything there." He kept smiling, kept reaching. Then, without warning, his smile disappeared. His hand slowly dropped. His eyes searched the empty ceiling. And for the first time that night, he cried. Not because he was hungry. Not because he was tired. He cried like someone had just left. Nobody mentioned the song again. The notebook disappeared. I assumed Mom had thrown it away. Life slowly returned to normal. My brother grew up healthy, happy. Nothing unusual ever happened. At least, nothing anyone else noticed. Before Grandma's house was sold, I went back one last time. Something kept pulling me toward the attic. The notebook was gone, but the photo album remained. I opened it again. This time, I was looking at the cemetery. I was looking at the babies, one after another. Every sleeping child wore exactly the same smile. Not similar. The same. The same lifted corners of the mouth. The same eyes focused just above whoever held the camera. The same peaceful expression. My stomach tightened. I turned back to the first page. The tiny cemetery. Then back to the babies. Then the cemetery again. I never counted the crosses this time. I didn't need to. I quietly closed the album and put it back exactly where I'd found it. My brother is 23 now. He's healthy. He's funny. He has a wife. A daughter. A perfectly ordinary life. But every now and then, I'll stay over at his house. Wake up in the middle of the night. Walk past the guest room. And hear him laughing in his sleep. Sometimes, through the crack in the door, I'll see both of his arms stretched toward the ceiling. Like a little boy asking someone to pick him up.